Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks live on YouTube every Sunday morning at this time. I'm D. for Prez reporting for Media Speaks. We're going to get into a host of issues today, and I am joined by Sam I.B. DeGanji, Sam of the Correct Views, and also the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls, and welcome to the Sunday edition.
I think it's going to be a good show today. We're joined also by Nikki Darling of rockrageradio.com. Go check that out. Listen to her on Rock Rage, and you can get an app too. Is that right, Nikki? How's it going?
Yes, we have a free app. You just go to your Apple store or your Android store. I'm on Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So.
All right, great. And first, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, nice to be here.
Nice to be here. Great to have you here. First up in today's top headlines, Sam I.B., did you see that Jill Stein wants a recount in 3 states, the 3 states that Trump won, where she got 1%. I don't know who exactly she's helping, but someone's obviously helping her. During her year-long campaign for the Green Party presidential candidate, Jill Stein raised approximately $3 million. In the past week, she's managed to raise $7 million or more. And people are concerned that on her website, it looks like it's a robot that's doing it systematically 24/7. But supposedly she's going to get the money, and she filed on Friday, and now Hillary Clinton is jumping in to say that she wants her lawyers to help out with the process. I have an article that talks about what they think it's really all about, but how do you guys feel about it, Sam? What do you think?
Well, D, it's funny you would mention that, because the most highly viewed article that I have ever written in my life, it was actually something that was sponsored by D. Allen Ross, who wrote The Day the Lights Went Out on Amazon. I wrote a story called Jill Stein is Bringing Disgrace to What Was a Noble and Intelligent Run. Currently, this article is sitting at 2,500 views on social networks and 310 from generic hits. And in it, I talk about a few ironies. First and foremost, Jill Stein is questioning Michigan. They don't use voting machines in Michigan. Therefore, Vladimir Putin, the all-seeing, all-knowing, all-encompassing, fallible henchman of the Great North, is somehow hacking the equivalent of a typewriter. Second of all, there are 3 million people who voted illegally, largely because they may have been in the country illegally. And when they got a driver's license, which some states let you do, some of those states also let you have a driver's license to vote. So if this was to go in the way that she wants it to, which it isn't, what's going to happen is they're going to call for a recount in all of the states in order to factor out the vote of undocumented. Lastly, the other problem with this is she has said by her own admission that Clinton is going to take us directly into conflict with Putin. So what is it that Jill Stein is doing? She's helping somebody who again, I think it's a baseless claim, but as a moral standpoint, she's trying to get Clinton elected. So that's my take on it. For a more in-depth result, make sure you do check out the article on Blasting News, because I go into it in some detail. Nikki, what do you think?
I think that she's getting a lot of her money because people want to help her, not because they think she'll win, but because Clinton will, and they think that at least in 3 of the states that the count was off enough that Clinton could get the vote. Why Jill is doing it? Maybe she just doesn't want it to end. She wants her limelight to stick around. I don't really know.
How much
it's not going to really help her.
Will it help her coffers, her money in any way, when she can raise that kind of money in a week when she couldn't do it in a year?
But can she keep that, legitimately keep it, or does it need to be used towards whatever campaign that she's stumping for, which is to get the recount? What does that even go to?
Well, I'm pretty sure when one of Hillary Clinton's shady mega donors is probably funding the whole thing, and it probably gave her a gigantic sum that we make look like incremental little donations from people.
Well, not only that,
a robot on our website is what it looks like. But
I also called into question about her doing this as a motive to increase her speaking fees in the future, and that goes back to what Nikki was saying about the press. I think that's very, very likely.
Raising her profile, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, supposedly Donald Trump was going to raise his profile to start a new TV network had he not won. But I found this interesting, that the recount in Wisconsin and the coming ones, supposedly, if it happens, if they get enough money and all that, and the lawyers in Michigan and Pennsylvania, will not change the outcome. No recount ever changes thousands of votes. So the author doesn't think that that's the purpose. The recounts, if done by hand, which can be demanded by the lawyers, may take longer than the last day for completing the official counts in a state and directing electoral college votes. So what they're saying is they're going to initiate kind of a law type thing of a recount, and then the lawyers will demand that it be done by hand. And basically they'll just keep demanding that things be done in a way that they won't get it done in time. And then they'll maybe suspend the electoral college voters from those 3 states. And if that happens, then the electoral count is at 260 for Trump, still at 232 for Clinton, but that means that no one hits 270, and then it goes to Congress. Do you guys think that this sounds like a logical theory? Or do you think that this sounds like more sort of a weird running out of the clock, get a bunch of lawyers involved, raise $7 million, weird kind of thing, so that it will go to Congress? And it would be the first time that this has happened since 1824. But in that case, John Quincy Adams won the House, though he had fewer electoral college votes than Andrew Jackson. And what it was Adams and Jackson had essentially the vote go to Congress. And even though Jackson was more popular, Congress gave it to Adams.
Well, it could be that, but you got to remember, Trump has won Michigan by over 10,300 votes. There's no way that could be a slight number variation. That's a pretty significant number.
Is it significant enough? And but just about that theory about running out the clock, Nikki, did you have a thought about that?
It seems, I mean, if you can think of something like that, then clearly somebody on their team. I don't mean that to sound. I mean, I think that if somebody as a
no, I try to think like they think, right? I mean, that's right. What we're looking at.
So if someone out on this side has thought of that, then clearly somebody inside has probably thought of that. But it seems very over calculating, like something that, I mean, that's a long shot for something.
I mean, why? But why is the third party candidate who got like 1% in these states? Why is she the one initiating this? That sounds like a long shot.
Again, I think it's because she likes the limelight and doesn't want it to go away. You see what Gary Johnson has done. He's just gone back to his life. He hasn't, made a show. He hasn't put on oh my God. And if there's anyone that could have, he should have. Because he got enough. He did better than Perot.
He didn't do
that. He did better than Perot, and Perot was up there. So if anybody could complain and be out there, I see him doing it. But it's Jill Stein, and I just think that she just wants to be seen some more, or maybe later on. Maybe she's gonna try again next time, and that's what she's trying to do, is keep her face.
Oh.
If she's gonna run in 2020, then
raising her profile now for a 2020 run.
You've got to. That's actually, I personally think Gary Johnson's biggest failure was not keeping through Obama's years. So if she looks at that and she wants to keep doing it, look at that. She's gonna stump us. If she doesn't feel like the people got their votes out there, she's gonna push to make their votes heard.
Yeah, she'll be able to trumpet. She'll be able to trumpet that she was on the side of the people.
Absolutely.
Also,
damn it, you guys! Well, I titled this video. The first headline is Jill Stein Recount, and I just gave her a bunch of click.
Well, remember too, D, like with her, I think it's interesting to note that she might have, I was watching a movie the other day that called it Little Man Syndrome, where they feel like they have to prove something.
Napoleon
one of the accusations,
Napoleon complex.
one of the accusations that were hurled against Jill Stein was that leftists and socialists aren't in favor of liberty. So this would be one way for her to separate herself from the pack and say, ooh, look what I did, look what I did.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to do it, because there are some states that there are some questions. And she may be able to have influence on the states that she picked, and that may be why she picked them. That may be the calculated part, is picking the states she feels she has.
But Michigan is a ridiculous choice. Michigan
I'm not
was
saying
very
it's good
tough.
choices. People make bad choices. Look at us. I'm just saying. But
okay, so
we've become the poster child for bad choices. That's not good.
Poster child. Yeah, I'm like Milo. I want to be the poster boy. You know what I'm saying? No, but okay. So Jill Stein, maybe trying to raise her awareness to her, whatever she's talking about with the Green Party and this and that. I mean, but then Clinton this weekend is saying, yeah, we're going to get on board with Jill Stein's effort. And
it's a win
our lawyers, Clinton camp lawyers are putting stuff out there. If I'm Trump, I'm like, well, he's put out a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter. We can go take a look at that if you guys want. But how do you think this will affect, like, is something just like Quincy Jones, Andrew Jackson going to happen in the Congress and Trump's not going to be the president?
Nah, I don't think so.
Quincy Jones, that's great. I do want to ask, do you like, what is it that Trump has been saying?
Quincy Jones.
John
Quincy Adams.
What is it that what is it that Trump has been saying about Jill Stein? Because I've been writing on it extensively, but I haven't actually followed Trump's replies, to be quite honest.
Oh, okay, great. Well, take a second here and let me look it up for you while you guys cover this.
It's brought to you by QuincyJones.com.
I'm going to Quincy.
A theory to throw out there while you're looking that up.
Mm.
What if, because of Clinton's maybe ill health or whatever, they're pushing behind Jill Stein because maybe they're going to transfer her to, because they want a woman president. People are pushing for that. So if they transfer over the next 4 years of backing Jill Stein and pushing her into that spot of where Clinton may have been had she been younger, less hated, etc. Just a thought, just a theory.
That could be, and while I'm not a fan of her because I think she could bankrupt us, it certainly is interesting to note that I could see her going in that route because she is a lot more likable.
Okay. First of all, do we know how old Jill Stein is? And also, didn't she run in 2012 also on Green Party?
Yeah, but this, you know what? I'll tell you what. She's going to run with Barney Frank next time. It's going to be the Frankenstein ticket, and everybody is going to tune in.
Yes, that's.
Frankenstein.
For that, just for the name.
The Frankenstein.
Al Franken.
Barney Frank, the Frankenstein ticket.
Franken.
It could be Al Franken, the Frankenstein ticket. It could be yes. It could also be Al Franken.
I would like Al Franken and Jill Stein to run next time. That is my ticket for 2020.
Jill Stein. Doesn't even say Stein on this page. Well, Trump tweeted out the other day on the 26th that Fidel Castro is dead.
It did say the Green Party scammed to fill to their coffers by asking impossible recounts. That's great.
There you go. Is now being joined by the badly defeated and demoralized Democrats. That means Hillary Clinton. The Hillary Clinton camp, when they incorrectly thought they were going to win, asked that the election night tabulation be accepted. Not so anymore. Hillary Clinton conceded the election when she called me just prior to the victory speech and after the results were in. Nothing will change, says Donald Trump. And also it is reported in the news. Now, we don't know if this is fake news or where it's coming from, but apparently Barack Obama called Hillary that night, probably after Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the three states that we're talking about, came in and said, real sorry, but you better just call Trump and concede. They're saying that Obama persuaded her to concede. Well, Pizzagate's John Podesta went on stage at that beautiful place, that Ricketts Theater with the glass ceiling that she was going to break that night, and told the large crowd of people there on election night to go home. He told them to go home. Remember, she didn't make a concession speech on election night, did she?
No, she didn't.
She made it the next day. Wearing matching purple, her and Bill Clinton. Purple for like a color revolution. And George Soros just dumping all this money. Thank God Hillary Clinton didn't win. Thank the heavens. On Thanksgiving, I was like, the turkey looks great. I'm so glad Hillary Clinton is not the president.
Amen.
Was that overboard, Nikki? You were going to say something. Sorry.
Oh, I just said red and blue make purple.
That's true. Very true. You mentioned
where they get it from.
You mentioned Pizzagate.
It doesn't matter, right wing or left wing, it's the same bird. That's how I always view it.
Bird. That's kind of a Thanksgiving weekend.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word.
You mentioned Pizzagate, D-Lake, and that is interesting. For those of you that don't know, this is worth looking into. I was one of the people that couldn't believe that it didn't get more traction. I was very happy that people realized
it's really starting to take off right now, though, Sam.
Yes.
It's trending, and Twitter is trying to suppress the trend.
I was very happy that during the election cycle, people understood exactly how creepy spirit cooking was. But I was greatly surprised by how many people weren't understanding what Pizzagate is.
Please tell me, because I post about pizza all the time, so maybe that's why I missed it. Like yesterday.
No. You trust me, you're not posting about this, my friend.
The spirit cooking came out first, and the spirit cooking landed right before the election. It wasn't really until after the election, and it's been buried by the election news, that in the Podesta emails, there was significantly weird code words that a lot of internet sleuths and who actually very credible people are pointing out that there's code words. And just to make it as fast as I can for you to absorb, Nikki, as possible, pizza is little boy, or hot dogs are little boys, pizza is little girls, or something like that. But it's like a child pedophile ring, and it was brought
up because it went through a pizza shop owner. Now, this common, normal pizza shop owner is friends with everybody in Washington, D.C. A lot of people who are tied to pedophilia and child abductions.
Oh, my God.
There's even some ties that Podesta could have been involved in the missing of Madeline, that little Maddie.
That was part of it, too. And this Comet ping pong pizza place that's not open during, like, kind of what you would think are normal pizza shop hours. They're open later at night. There's kids running around there at like 10 o'clock at night in the bathroom, and out in the place they have like really weird artwork. Weird artwork is something that I've actually covered in the past, just reporting on, like all this blood and all this satanic and like the spirit cookings and like, fetuses in jars and crap like that. But like little girls with like their hands, taped or behind their back, or but like little kids, and just like creepy. And reportedly in the bathroom of this Comet ping pong pizza place. Now, these are just things I'm seeing on the internet. It could be Russia. Okay? Fine. This could be fake news. I don't know if it is, because I've been doing some research on this. But in the bathroom, they have a painting of a weird alien that looks like he's like jizzing or something. And it says, "Shut up and fuck." At like this place where like kids are running around playing ping pong. A guy did a Periscope, and all he said was like dinner at Comet, and he got kicked out because he was Periscoping, the video thing, Nikki.
Yeah. And
he said that there was just weird, really suspicious stuff going on all around. But It started from emails in the WikiLeaks, John Podesta emails, where people were sending an email saying, "I found the handkerchief map at the pizza," and but in like a sentence, like what? That doesn't make any sense. So like people are like, Cernovich was like, "Dude, I used to work crime cases, and these look like code words," and then you start looking into it. And there's a whole like
secret
code word
language
thing where pizza and hot dogs are like boys and girls, and pasta, and they talk about walnut sauce and anything to do with that's like black kids, and it's tied into the Clinton Foundation and Haiti and Colombia and missing kids, and John Podesta and his brother are looking just like the sketch photos. I mean. Sam, these aren't allegations. These aren't anything.
Here's where I've questioned it. When it was around 2007, 2008, I became a huge person on MySpace in terms of followers, and the reason for that was I got to interview a death metal band in New York City called Skinless. They were on tour with Topsy and Cattle Decapitation. We went there near Easter, by the way. I think we're thinking on Easter. We went there, and he had said the most important thing you can do, and this is again 06, 07. The most important thing that you can do is get on MySpace and get some T-shirts made. So we got on MySpace and started pushing the band on this page, blah, 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 blah. Might have even been a little bit before that, now that I think about it. I forget what year Madeline was missing. Anyway, right around the time that we had been on MySpace for a significant amount of time, Maddie the little girl turned up missing. And I remember at the top of my page, like whoever you had at your top page was a really big deal at the time. I still like the layout much better than Facebook. Facebook is clunky and burdensome.
Well, MySpace you can create your own.
Yeah, there's no flair or panache with Facebook or Twitter or any of that. But I had Ron Paul and Maddie at the top of my search forever. I read every possible story on her. I had just began writing articles on a chain, an email chain that I used to be a part of, from Neopa Radio. And I remember writing about her extensively, contacting her family and things. I know an awful lot about that case for somebody who was, just online trying to promote their band and go to college. I know for sure that there were a lot of questions pertaining to the rich and powerful people that were there. Her and that girl that went missing in South America both had that.
What's her name? Maddie?
Maddie.
Maddie and Tay?
I don't know. Put in Maddie missing Podesta. Now that I've said all that, let me ask you a question. It's not it sounds like a conspiracy theory to assume that somebody as high up as Podesta in politics, who was working with the almost president, has abducted a girl as high profile as Madeline became. Until you realize two things. She was just another normal little girl at the time that she was taken. No one could have predicted how it was going to blow up. That happened because of the phenomenon that was MySpace. She was one of the first cases to which that happened after John Bonet. If John Bonet had been around during the time of the internet, she most likely would have been the first. That's right. The first thing to remember. Second of all...
okay, whoa. Just slow down. You're going really fast, but just define that as like an internet sensation, because earlier I was just I wasn't making any charges. That little girl, for some reason, her face really bothered me. I was just throwing out, what I'm seeing on the internet. It could all be Russian propaganda for all we know, but these pictures are supposedly the suspect police sketches type things, and it looks just like the Podesta brothers.
It looks like the Podesta brothers. Now here is where this. Wait, hear me out. Here is where this stops being the conspiracy theory. But to go back to what D Lake wanted me to reiterate real quick, No one knew when she was abducted that she was going to end up so high profile. Nobody understood that MySpace was going to be used for something that actually helped
Yeah.
a lot of people. So he didn't abduct a high profile girl. That is not what happened.
I agree.
She became high profile because
Due to the abduction.
yes, kind of like Stephen King.
Who knew of Amber before Amber Alert?
Like Stephen King said about Sarah Sylvia Plath. The only reason she was popular was because she committed suicide. The other thing is, then this is what really, really bothers me is, D-Lake, if I said that I thought you had some connection to the missing of little Maddie, you would be on every newspaper, TV network, social network, and you'd be in court suing for slander. Go ahead and accuse Donald Trump of something like that once, and he'll have you're in court so fast your head will swivel like you were a bobblehead doll on baseball giveaway night. Podesta brothers have not come out and said, this is disgusting, this is vile, what is wrong with you people, you're filth. No, nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
because
D-Lake,
brothers.
D-Lake, here, listen what this is what I've heard from the Podesta camp. Listen. Nothing.
Because New York Times Pizzagate article, which totally got wrecked. Oh, Pizzagate's already on Snopes. Oh, a detailed conspiracy known as Pizzagate. I don't give. Fuck you, Snopes. You know what Snopes is? It's two people, and we're three people that sit around and absorb all the internet news, and then
decide if it's true or not.
Tell you what's going to be true or false. Nikki, I mean, can we just have a discussion without trying to say what's true and what's false, but just rather say go investigate this stuff? And it inspired a guy that lives. He's like, hey, I only live 30 minutes from this place. Why don't I go in there and do a Periscope and see what's up? He got kicked out.
What's stopping people from finding out on their own other than, oh, I looked at Snopes. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to even click on this fucking Snopes bullcrap because I'm going to click on, the New York Times put out a, where's the actual New York Times article? Okay. Oh, look at the title. If I still have enough views this month.
Know.
Fake news onslaught targets pizzeria as nest of child trafficking. Now, I watched a video last night. Let's see if it still works. Search. I'm doing if you can see, I'm doing a Control F, which means find on the page. Fake. 1 of 17 results for the word fake. Okay, a lot of them seem to be in the ads on the side, but basically what Sam was just saying, instead of them hiring, a bunch of lawyers that we know about, remember when Podesta said he loved that one lawyer that totally got him off charges? Yeah, that's not going to be good. And this is basically trying to defend the pizza shop owner who somehow is the 49th most powerful guy in Washington, D.C. and has been to the White House in person 5 times and met with Obama personally at least once.
But he has
I'm sorry?
And he has a pizza place? He's just a pizza guy?
He's a pizza shop owner, and he's been to the White House 5 times. And reportedly was bringing in pizza and hot dogs. And if I go back to the Pizzagate pedophile code language, Nikki, hot dog equals boy, pizza equals girl, cheese equals a little girl, pasta equals a little boy, ice cream equals male prostitute, walnut equals person of color, map equals semen, sauce equals orgy.
Now, hold on 1 second. Now, let me mention the reason that they're saying that they believe this to be the case is that they were used in sentences where they didn't make any sense.
On WikiLeaks.
I'm excited to see pizza tonight. It wasn't, let's go out for a piece of pizza. It is worded in such a way that it is highly suspicious.
Look, if I go to WikiLeaks and type in pizza Podesta, now I'm just showing people how to look stuff up. I'm not making any claims. I'm not saying there's any wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? But wait, I got to go to the Podesta emails. Here we go. Podesta emails, custom search, pizza. I don't know. The site could be down now because does anyone know where? Oh, look at all these results. Does anyone know where WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is right now? Where is he today? What did he do for Thanksgiving?
He is in the embassy. He's been in the embassy for, I think, what, 2 or 3 years. The man is one of the heroes of our time. Much like Snowden, he's given his whole life for truth.
Yeah, but when was the last time you heard from him?
I haven't heard of a saying in the news in a little bit, in a minute. I know I heard somebody said that they wanted to shoot Snowden dead or something. I did hear a little blurb about somebody being pretty angry about Snowden and wanting FBI director, maybe.
It's one of the ways that Trump is incredibly mistaken.
Was that Hillary Clinton? She wanted him taken out with a drone? Oh, no, that was Julian Assange. My bad. Okay, also, guys, I guess Fidel Castro died. Do we care?
Oh, well, you know, he was a rather despicable man. Getting to with what he did to people. I mean, people are condemning Trump. I've got blasting news here. Robert Sobel wrote this. Trump responds to Fidel death threat with a quick shot on Twitter, and they say, you know, he did it in typical fashion. Well, let's remember what this man did. The man, all Trump wrote was Fidel Castro is dead! Exclamation point.
He followed that up.
You know, let's remember, he made a name for himself in the Cuban Revolution. What did he do? He stole freedom and slaughtered people that didn't agree with it. He chose, come on, the left and the right, even if they didn't agree with his policies, loved JFK. The whole world loved JFK. The only 2 people in the world that didn't was Russia and Castro. And he chose Russia over peace-loving JFK. I mean, he was not a good person. He really was not a good man.
Did he play baseball?
That I'm not sure of. I'm really not sure.
I'm looking.
I wouldn't be surprised because so many baseball players are Cuban, and that may have been where the interest in the sport came from. But I mean, yeah, when you look at what the man did, he ruined his country.
Yeah, Sam, you just know a lot more about this than I do because I never really followed Cuban politics and all that. I mean,
well, now you know about
the
Cuban Missile Crisis. It was Castro that allowed Russia to put nuclear weapons right on our doorstep, which is the same thing we're doing to Russia now, ironically enough. But I mean, it almost started a major war.
Well, the X-Men stopped that shit. I saw the movie. You know a lot more about that than I do, Sam.
Not a great person. But what did you say? It stopped it?
The X-Men in X-Men First Class. Anyways, she's back. There she is. She's coming back. Priebus says Clinton, Trump cut a deal. The Dems have a real strategy. That's the article that we looked up earlier. Drudge Report, always helpful. This week, Drudge Report was reported to be fake Russian propaganda. These motherfuckers. Drudge turns red. Oh, they're Russian propaganda. They said that the Ron Paul Institute was Russian propaganda, Sam. InfoWars, I don't know, Daily Caller, Tucker Carlson, basically anyone on the right, now the racist alt-right, I mean, works for Russia and Vladimir Putin. And last week, didn't I show you guys the awesome graphic of, Hillary and her tinfoil hat being controlled by...
Well,
right.
I'll give you two things. I'll give you 2 things about Drudge, and Nikki, let me know if you agree with this. First of all, I can't understand how anybody calls Drudge being on the right, considering the fact that A, he's not a journalist. He doesn't write anything. He's just an aggregator.
He's a news aggregator.
Second of all, he's posting most of his stories from ABC, NBC, CNN, and Fox. Most of them. The second thing about Drudge is when my friend Giselle and I were watching the election results. Because of Drudge, I had everything confirmed 20 minutes before she did. I knew that he'd won Ohio an hour before she got it confirmed. I was on air. She's texting me. I had people texting me on the show. Drudge was and he wasn't wrong on any of them during any point of the entire night. Those are the two things about Drudge. I don't understand what they have against him, and I don't understand how he can be considered on the right when he.
I mean, the entire Sam, you just broke up right there, but and he was just linking. When you're a news aggregator, Drudge Report, you just link to stuff. Geez, he linked to the Daily Caller, and sometimes he links to InfoWars and Alex Jones, but does he link to prop or not prop? These people that are like, they don't even tell you who they are, but they say that all these sites are fake. Now, we kind of talked about fake news last week, but guys, I mean, there's a difference between fake news, false news, hoax news. I mean, conspiracies don't exist, right? There's no such thing as a conspiracy. And then they actually get the media to work along with them to perpetrate it on to the American people that these things are happening. Oh, okay, yeah. I think the fake news is fake news. What the fuck are they talking about? I don't know. Sometimes I get a little carried away with the whole thing. But it's funny because when Hillary Clinton made that speech about the alt-right and they have a dark heart and they're racist, misogynist, and xenophobic and homophobic, and
so why does she allow
they're deplorable, and they will vote for Donald Trump, okay? And they're all working for Vladimir Putin. Go back and watch her alt-right speech. And the next day, Sam and I were doing a show, and I said, the alt-right, like alternative right. Like you have the right and the left. So the right is like the conservative, you know, kind of, if you want to call it old school, but no, they're racist. No. Okay. So, I mean, we're the alternative right. We're not closer to the middle. We're not the neocons. We're not the warmongering neocons that have been running this shit for the past, the Bush era. We're not part of that. We're not this and that. We're not the neocons. We want 9/11 truth or whatever, So we're branded crazy conspiracy theorists. Then this neo-Nazi party has basically a party, and they're like, Trump won, yay, Heil Hitler or Heil Trump. And they're like, oh, boom, there you go. They're the alt-right, and the alt-right are neo-Nazis. And now I was saying that we're the alt-right a couple months ago after Hillary's stupid speech. And now I'm a neo-Nazi that works for Vladimir Putin and is sad that Fidel Castro just died. It makes no sense to me. And we talked about Pizzagate. So therefore, I guess now we're pedophiles, homophobes, and also xenophobes. Even though I just went down to TJ the other day. And it was so funny when we were coming back, like, dude, like Trump's talking about building the wall. The San Ysidro or the Tijuana border is like intense now, man. There was dudes there with their fucking all kinds of shit. I got brought in the secondary. They're like, where's your, I'm like, I don't have a passport. They're like, well, just go have fun. Just be safe.
You're allowed there without a passport?
When we came back across, it was like the middle of the night, but when we came back across, like, my friends, we were all fucked up. Everyone was like having a good time. It was like Thanksgiving. It was like the day after Thanksgiving, but like still Thanksgiving night, kind of like into the early morning. And we came back, and then we got back in America, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, America! We're back in America! Fuck yeah! Like build the fucking wall and fuck yeah, make America great again." And like, but that was my friends, and I was kind of like walking behind, kind of slow. I was kind of tripping out on the whole thing because I haven't been down to Mexico in like a really long time. And I was like, I asked the border guard that was like standing right there and shit. I was like, dude, you probably hear that like fucking all the time, right? He's like, man, it's getting old. I'm like, I'm like,
See, I think that
these Americans, when we come back and we're like, America! It's like, jeez.
That's
It was a good time.
Trashy.
Yeah. My friends, that's how they are.
I
Then
just
we got
mean
an
in general,
Uber.
the whole aspect of people acting in that fashion. It's just as bad as people walking past a group of women and hooting and hollering, or a group of black people and racial slurs. It's just trashy. Just trashy. Whoever.
Yeah, that'd be trashy.
I wasn't dogging your friends. Just if it's getting old, it's not just your friends.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Because like they were kind of like behaving like that, and so I asked the border guard. I'm like, dude, you probably hear that all the time. He's like, yep, all the time. It's getting
Can
old.
I ask you something then?
Yeah.
Why didn't you call him out on that? So as a woman, can I count on you as a man to, if your friends are acting in misogynist ways, are you going to call them out on that? If you don't call them out on that, at what point do we police ourselves?
I did kind of call him out.
Not cool.
I did kind of call him out, but I mean, like, it's such a gigantic issue. I mean, like, you know, okay, you're all fucked up on Thanksgiving. And I asked the Uber driver about how he felt about the election, and he didn't want to say anything.
Can you blame him? People die for that.
Well, I'm not against.
I call people out. I just want to.
But
I call people out.
I
call my friends out on the way back. Yeah.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I'm not against building the wall though, because I think we do have a problem with people just walking over.
No, we have a problem with businesses going, hey, I'll pay you under the table and I'll pay you a little bit if you just bring your family over.
That too.
It's not the wall. It's business being shady.
Yeah, but I also
bullshit. It's not them. Of course, if your family was dying in a country that was burying you in the ground, and somebody said, hey, just bring your family. We'll feed you. We'll clothe you. You won't make as much as Americans, and you got to kind of hide out. But just do it. That's the problem. It's not a fucking wall.
But I also think
we're gonna build a wall.
It's a fucking barrier. It'll have holes in it. You can knock that shit down. It's not about a wall. It's taking responsibility for our own selves as business people and calling them out.
I'm in favor of both the wall and what you're saying. I also think sooner or later it's not just going. It's not a matter of Mexico. It's a matter of especially. I even want the Canadian border.
Do we need one on Canadian border?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. I think so because we're going to have a major problem with
Build a bigger table, not a bigger wall.
No, you're going to have a major terror problem if you do that.
We already have one.
Yeah, but that's going to make it easier. I know, but that's like saying because you already have, if you have one cockroach, you might as well leave a pizza out.
But I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure where all this is going, or like. Look, what I was talking about is crossing the border, and I'm saying I haven't been down there in like a really long time. And now the border is like super built up, like giant and fancy and way fortified. There was guys in camo with machine guns and like all kinds of security. And they made it so it's like really super long to get back in because so many people are coming in. And we do need a wall because a border is a wall and countries have borders and we have a border. And
so
we need
people. Have borders.
We need people to not be able to get across that border illegally by driving truckloads of drugs going over or under or just going through a piece of crap fence or where there is no fence.
Do you think all countries should do that? Should Ireland have a wall between?
A lot of those countries in Europe have water, bodies of water that form natural borders. And
so France should build a wall around. I'm just saying it's not practical.
I wouldn't have a huge problem with it if they if they felt they needed it.
I just don't think that it's practical.
Well, that could be a concern, and that could very well be a concern.
When I went across the border, I showed my ID. They questioned me in the secondary about a passport. I mean, they were concerned about who was coming into their country. And on the way back, they wanted to make sure that I wasn't bringing anything back from that other country because we're two different countries. I'm sure the same thing goes on in France. I've never been to Europe. But I was spending Thanksgiving with Quentin and his girlfriend she's from Mexico, but he was Fritz. We were talking all about France and Germany. My other friend was from Germany. I don't know. It was crazy. It was like an international thing. I felt like I was representing America.
And that's how it should be. I think if we make it easier to become citizens.
Oh, wait, Nikki, you just went on mute. Somehow it sounded like she was in the middle of a sentence.
You muted out, Nikki. No, oh, that's it.
I'll be right back.
I'm definitely in favor of making it easier to come in, but I think getting it to get in legally, but it needs to be impossible to get in illegally. That's what I'm in favor of.
Oh, Sam, hopefully for everyone watching, Nikki said she'll be right back. Will she be right back, or?
Oh, she definitely will be. She's
we were having an honest discussion, right? I didn't say anything offensive, did I?
No. You could tell by her phone she was dropped. Okay. I want it to be impossible to get in illegally and easier to get in legally.
Boom, that's what I was going to say.
I don't think that's an impossible dream, so to speak, but I wish that Trump would have worded it that way. And for some reason, I think while he connects with the average man, sometimes I think he
a big beautiful door, Sam. That's what he meant.
No, see, that's very good. I like the big beautiful door. I'm a fan of that one. But I do, like, while we're waiting for her to return, we'll let her make her point when she gets here. I got some science here. This is
go for it. Do it.
I want my theme song. You sing it to me every week.
It's the science. It's Sam's science. It's time for science. Let's do the science. Sam.
All right. Fukushima nuclear power plant. This is from FukushimaNews.en. Japan, India sign historic nuclear deal. The negotiations for the nuclear deal between the two sides have been going on for a number of years. The process on these kinds of halted because of political resistance in Japan in 2011 after the Fukushima power plant disaster. So what they have done now is they've reached a deal between the two nations regarding the proper use and functions of nuclear power plants. I don't know yet whether or not, though, it addresses the most important issue, which is what they're going to do in terms of restarting them or continuing to keep them off, as seems to be the case by the earthquake. Unfortunately, I've never wanted to be wrong before as much as now. I've been saying, as D-Lake knows, for 5 years now, over 5 years, that we are not done with the significant earthquakes that we are seeing in this area. It's Japan was made, as I've said a million times, by an earthquake, and will likely be taken off the globe someday by an earthquake. In the meantime, earthquakes are going to do what they have done, what we're seeing now, and this is a particularly high time in the seismic activity of the Earth. It's important to realize that the global warming crowd is incredibly wrong about man warming the planet. However, they are right about seeing some of the changes that they are falsely blaming on man. And I would argue that that is because of the solar flare problems. It's a problem for us, I should say. But it's a cycle. We can trace it back thousands, in some instances millions of years, to it having the same cycle and having the same effect on the planet that is now being blamed on global warming. And when we see these kinds of changes in the sun, what it does is it creates the greenhouse effect that we're seeing now in some areas. We see cooling in other areas, like we are also witnessing now. And lastly, we see a huge increase in seismic activity. And if that's the case, then we're going to see a number of earthquakes of significant stature. And I think for that reason, Japan needs to really shut these down, decommission them, and get the waste into a secure location as quickly as possible. That's pretty much my news from the science front today. I wanted to put that together. And I couldn't have been timed better, because the moment I finish, Nikki comes back, which is awesome.
Yeah, you missed it, Nikki, but Sam just made a brilliant point. One that I had never thought of is that earthquakes are like hey, Japan, I brought you into this world. I could take you out. Like, Japan was created by earthquakes, right, Sam?
That's right. And they will be taken away by an earthquake someday.
Look at this. Radioactive wild boars are rampaging around the Fukushima nuclear site. And Lewis Porter Jr. says, do you want orcs? Because this is how we get orcs.
I thought that was Chris Christie.
Nikki, you're a fan of the orcs? What's the orcs? Isn't that Lord of the Rings?
Isn't it Lord of the Rings?
I think so.
And they live underground.
I think it was also a He-Man character.
Oh,
the orcs. Yeah, this is how we get the orcs. Radioactive boars running around.
Oh, see, that's that. What they're showing is from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Was that Sloth down there? Sloth loves Chunk. Right over there, is that Sloth?
So many pictures. Sloth?
It looks like it was in the middle of the page, the bottom. It doesn't matter. From
Oh wait, Sloth from 7? Oh, from Goonies?
Yeah, it's like
they all start to look the same, right? All right. Nikki, good to have you back. All right, great. Were you researching Pizzagate or did you order a pizza?
Somebody called. Knocked me out.
Okay.
To order a pizza?
No, I do not want any pizza or hot dogs at any point until this is
Well, we don't know exactly if that's what it means. We don't know if this is going to be looking.
It gives us that grain of doubt because of the things like that guy that had the Lolita plane, and Trump and
Jeffrey Epstein.
Clinton. Yep, Trump and Clinton both affiliated with, both of them leaving their Secret Service or their security to hang out on. I'm sorry.
Their Secret Service detail to go to the island, Orgy Island.
The fact that we know those things and people are still like, oh, it's probably not true. I'm sorry. I can see
Pizzagate started from coded emails within the John Podesta leaks. Now, John Podesta would probably be the chief of staff or head counsel right now had Hillary been elected. John Podesta was her campaign manager.
I don't see how people are surprised that I can't believe that there's people that aren't going, well, the fact is it could be true because of all the shadiness that has already been proven to be true.
So would it be shady if the Clinton Foundation made a shit ton of money on Haiti disaster relief, then a bunch of missing Haitian children that we probably don't hear much about show up at a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. to service the global elite in their pedophilia satanic cult rituals?
And look at that Fogel guy, and his foundation was just for finding little kids. It does not. It happens. It does absolutely happen. And it's very...
I know when I was making the movie, I have it online for those that want to see it, the correct youtube.com/thecorrectviews, Bilderberg, Why It Mattered to Me. There were a lot of people, and I did not get them on film, so you're simply going to have to take my word for this. At the time, I had gone to the 2 huge rallies that were near the hotel in Virginia. And then I had went to get something to eat and got some sleep, and they were planning on going out there at like 2:30 in the morning. So I woke up after only 2 or 3 hours of sleep and joined a small group of people that actually kept the promise and did it. There were probably about 10 to 15 of us. 2:30 in the morning there on the one side of the hotel. I don't know about the other side. And there were people there talking about Kissinger. And what was interesting was they all had the same questions concerning Kissinger. And nobody could find any data proving his innocence. You could only find a number of coincidences that existed that made you wonder. And again, this is another instance of someone not coming out and addressing what seems to be a concern that is shared and well known by a very large number of people.
I'm going to go back to my original thought on that and just say that they're just going to play defense by saying that it's all fake.
But they themselves have never said it.
Not them, but they'll use all their cronies and outlets. And
isn't it interesting? I mean, would you ever allow? I guarantee neither one of us would ever allow someone to say something like that about us and let somebody say something like that unaddressed. There would be fury and hell to pay.
Also, in the Podesta emails are like a ton of media news reporters sending them emails saying, "Hey, check this over. Take a look at this. Yeah, I've become a real hack. Now I'm a hack." And so what makes you think that this New York Times reporter that says that the pizza story is fake isn't a fucking hack working for Podesta and Clinton and the Clinton camp? And I mean, yeah, you never see Clinton distancing herself from Podesta. Or she didn't even distance herself. She barely, like, Huma was that. Why isn't Anthony Weiner in jail today?
Anthony Weiner on a horse. No, did you?
Have they got a divorce yet? No, that was 2 weeks ago. He was at the sex fucking rehabilitation on a horse.
Yes, don't forget. For those of you that don't know, you can look up Quick Views Anthony Weiner. There is a new vulgarity.
Yeah, what happened to the computer that had 650,000 emails that James Comey just said, we went through them and Hillary, yeah, nothing to see here.
You know how people say, "Oh my word," or "For crying out loud." I created a new one. Anthony Weiner on a horse. I mean,
Anthony Weiner on a horse. That's like Jesus, Harold Christ.
Well, maybe not quite, but yes, Anthony Weiner on a horse.
Or, oh my word. Something like
Anthony Weiner on a horse.
Anthony Weiner. Why isn't Weiner in jail? Have Huma and Anthony got a divorce? Where's Huma?
Well,
last we saw, she was crying in the streets of New York.
Yes.
So sad. Pitiful. Probably I don't know. To me, it's really beautiful to see the Clinton and Bush dynasties fall.
Well, you're talking about very depressing topics for many people. Not me, of course, but for many people. So we have to go to, well, you covered one of them. You got Fidel Castro out of the way, but I got a 1, 2, 3 punch deal. I've got a death.
It's time for Sam's obituary. I don't really have a song for this because it'd be inappropriate, but it's time for Sam's obituary.
And a death. We have 3 deaths. This is from Roz Zerko at Blasting News. Man dissolved in boiling acidic water in slip at Yellowstone Hot Spring. Details revealed. Now, I don't know about listeners here. I personally would have never guessed that the hot springs were that hot. I thought they were healing. That's what you always hear. This is.
Oh wait, no, I heard about this earlier in the week. Apparently, he went off the trail.
Said
him and his sister veered off the beaten path.
Yeah, they left the safety area around the hot springs and slipped into the boiling water. It was caught on tape. The brother and sister visiting the park left the designated trail and ventured over to a hot spring despite signs warning of dangers. When 23-year-old Colin bent down to feel the water, he slipped and fell in, and while his sister was filming this with her phone, she called 911 emergency services, and her brother disappeared out of sight and into the springs. The gory details of this attempted rescue back in June were not released, and the same goes for the clip Scott's sister took. Authorities kept the details of his death and the video from the public out of concern for the family. However, a Freedom of Information Act recently filed has now put the reports detailing his death out there for public view. His body was partially dissolved in the water, and crews were attempting to retrieve his remains. It's getting dark. It completely dissolved his remains, all of them. So now you know for sure the mafia has taken notice of that. It's going to be noticed that the Hillary Clinton hot springs next week. She's going to buy it to get rid of Podesta. Deadly mistake. This is not just a hot spring. The acid level in the water is so extremely dangerous The area is an accident occurred on the edge of the cauldron Yellowstone. So yeah, that is awful there. It said the remains break down in the acid in the water, and it's part of the folklore. It's not just folklore; it's actually true. That's why you're not to go off the beaten path. That is the first
Exactly.
one.
That's why you're not, Sam. Can we just emphasize the message of this story?
Well, see, but I could see myself doing something.
That there are safety guidelines at the national
park. You were talking about building a wall at the Tijuana border. Who are you to talk about safety?
What? That is safety.
Oh, okay. All right. This is another one. This is another sad one, friends. Florence Henderson, Brady Bunch, dies at 82. Now, I'm going to be dead honest. I never liked the Brady Bunch. It always annoyed the living snot out of me. You know, we'll be so cute and so happy. I hate the Brady Bunch. However, I've always liked Florence Henderson. She's a very good person. Was a very good person. Unfortunately, heart failure claimed her on Twinkie Day, no less. She died on Thanksgiving. Her death was thankfully unexpected. I say that because she didn't suffer. As Nikki said earlier, hoped she was surrounded by family and friends. Oh, she made a many.
There was reports that Greg, the oldest son, actually slept with Florence Henderson. Or no, wait, what was it? Maybe he slept with the dad. I don't know. I think he's gay.
I would have
something like that. Like, I would have slept with Marsha first, but
goodness. But yeah, that's a very sad one there. She was in Oklahoma. Her voice was very good on Broadway. And
yeah, the first thing
she grew up poor with an alcoholic father and a mother who left when she was 12, so she overcame quite a bit.
I forgot who it was that eulogized her, but said that she had like the most amazing singing voice.
She did. She absolutely did.
Very, very good singer.
Her husband died, so she married a hypnotherapist in 2002. And very, very sad to see her go. I'm remembering America's Mom. Al Yankovic even said so terribly sad to hear the passing of Florence Henderson. Honored to have known and worked with her. And lastly, but not least, even more sad to me, is the passing of Barney Miller.
No way.
Ron Glass dies. Barney Miller. I loved Barney Miller. This is even worse than Professor Snape dying. You know what I mean? This is terrible. Actor Ron Glass, known for his role on the police sitcom Barney Miller, has died. He died at the age of 71. DLA, can you find out what killed Ron Glass for me? It's not listed here. I hate when they do that. But then again, it's CNN. We know they saw.
Oh, Ron Glass was the brother on, he was the black gentleman on Barney Miller show.
Very, very sad. It says, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. It is with a heavy heart that I confirm the passing of my dear friend and client, Ron Glass, like I said. He passed late at night of. Oh, I'm sorry.
You said Barney Miller died. Barney Miller didn't die. I mean, Ron Glass died.
Yeah, I got that backwards. I am sorry, friends. He died of respiratory failure. He was a private, gentle, and caring man, and a delight to watch on screen. Cannot adequately express my sorrow. He was nominated for an Emmy in Barney Miller, which ran from the mid-70s to 82. He played.
No, but he was more known. He's more known more recently for Firefly. Is why a lot of people are sad today because they know from that.
Well, I don't know what Firefly is. So D-Lake, take the end. Wait. D-Lake will continue my death report.
No, I'm just saying that, like,
Go.
Sam, I never watched that show, Firefly, but I know that a lot of people really liked it. And I believe this is an image of Ron Glass from Firefly. He's also known for Barney Miller. He had a different look back then. There he is. And but more recently, he was known for Firefly. He passed away, age 71, respiratory failure this past weekend.
You never know.
But another one. Thanks to Sam for all this.
I saw the tombstones checking in this week, and I told my wife, "Oh, D-Lake's gonna be like Sam.
We're cashing out."
Oh, so yeah, live life to the fullest, friends. You never know.
Did you have one more?
No, it was Castro, but you already covered him.
All right, well, give me just a minute, Castro. Give me a minute, Castro.
D-Lake, come on. Covered him, D-Lake? Come on. Oh, see, he doesn't get it. Covered him. Castro. Hey, I'm not going to joke about the other ones dying, but Castro joked about other people's dying. In any event, friends, I think D-Lake has stepped away to hang himself over my decrepit humor. And I want to remind everyone that if you have not hit subscribe, do so. If you have not checked out D. Allen Ross's book, When the Day the Lights Went Out, on Amazon, make sure you do that. And above all else, friends, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. That's the word of the day, Thanksgiving. Yes, it happened after all the news was over. If you're still listening, I'm going to send you free autographed bumper stickers. Leave the word Thanksgiving in the comment line, and I'll send you autographed bumper stickers. You can find me at the Correct Views at hotmail.com. You can donate through PayPal on there. Also, youtube.com/the Correct Views, and of course, passing time on YouTube as well. The band. D-Lake, do you have any closing thoughts for everyone?
I do. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It was great having Nikki Darling of rockrageradio.com. Everyone, go download the app and give her show a listen to. That's something that I'm going to do. I kind of came in today's show after, a long weekend, good times, talked a little bit about that. And shout out to my friends and what a good time I had on Thanksgiving. And this morning I was like, man, I don't really know what I want to talk about. Fidel Castro's dead. Who cares? Whatever. I don't care. I care more that Florence Henderson died. I love that. I love that lady. She was so good. So thanks for Sam for the obituary section, the science section. Everyone, stick to the safety rules when you go to the Yellowstone National Park or any other national park. But the thing was, the past couple of days, I'm like, the news, the Jill Stein news, the other news, I'm like, okay, don't care about this, don't care about this. I'm like, dude, this Pizzagate stuff is blowing up. And like, I went down a lot of rabbit holes is what I'm trying to say. A lot of rabbit holes, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff, and I guess I'm doing some investigation, but I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. I mean, I'm just here on my internet, so who am I? Fucking Snopes? I got more cats than that bitch does. Anyways, thank you. I also have free kittens, so for anyone watching this that lives in San Diego area that wants a kitten, it's free. I'll give you a kitten. I got a couple gray ones. Kind of want to keep the black ones.
That's true, friends. In true Trump fashion, he's inviting you to come and grab the pussy.
Dude, you can come over to my house, grab him by the pussy, take him with you, and it'll all be free. So, what a slut.
And of course, D-Like, we all know. Oh, wait, Nikki's back. I was almost time to close the show.
Well, that's good though, because what I wanted to say, and like I was kind of addressing Nikki in that, is that like the past, like last night and the night before, I was still kind of recovering from all the partying that I did on Thanksgiving, but I started going down this rabbit hole of this Pizzagate thing, and I don't know, it sickened me actually, but I think it's something that maybe people, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, it's something that you might want to take a look at, and it's something that I think is going to legs because it's just tied to so many things. And when these scandals that we thought were about emails or about money or something, just then they get tied into like a pedophile ring or, murder.
What's our biggest commodity but our children?
It's just scary. So, I don't know. Like I said, I went down that rabbit hole. I wasn't making any accusations or trying to say anything. I was just trying to say if anyone else wanted to go down that rabbit hole, maybe you could find something.
I just want to hear these people have the kind of outrage that I would have if someone said something like that about me. That's what's most frightening to me is there's deafening silence.
Well, we'll see if the mainstream media picks it up, but no, they're too busy calling everything fake.
Well, and I think that's the key, is calling everything fake. That way everybody wonders what the real truth is. That way they can go, well, I don't know, because somebody said it was fake. I don't know if that's true. So then everything becomes a question and nothing becomes fact. Everything is a possible false flag. Everything's possible, and you keep people confused to the point where things can slide by because they don't know if it's fake. They don't know if it's real. This Pizzagate, why would that and some things are so big like that people don't want to believe it, so they put their blinders on that something so heinous and so all encompassing of people that we've put into positions of power, that they'll put blinders on anyway, especially if they heard their neighbor said it was fake anyway.
Exactly.
It causes just media confusion, and then it doesn't matter what they say. Well,
and it just makes the prospect of another maybe terrorist attack or, something like that being, I don't know, whenever something major happens, we get these perspectives from so many angles, and all we're hearing is that, it could be fake news or something. It's like, where are we supposed to go for the truth or something, right?
Well, they thought that Pearl Harbor, there was that whole conspiracy theory that they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. And everybody was like, oh, that's not real. That's fake news, until, after they released the information and they did know it was going to happen. They just block it out for 50 years until everybody's dead. They can be prosecuted and then move forward and go, oh, well, I guess that was a conspiracy.
I guess that really did.
Again.
Guess that really did happen.
Yep. And all those people that were considered crazy or conspiracy theorists are going, see, I fucking told you.
But it could never happen again because history doesn't repeat itself. It could never repeat itself, right?
Hey, where are my blinders? Because that's probably fake news anyway. My neighbor's babysitter said she read it on Snopes.
Your neighbor's babysitter said she read it on Snopes?
Well, it's always somebody says something.
No, Nikki.
But D-Lake has a point.
Let me go find a cute picture of the kitten.
How is it that Snopes managed?
Cute picture of the kitten.
Here's my question, D-Lake. How does Snopes manage to end up some great authority on facts just because they say they're a great authority on facts? What makes them so reliable?
Oh, they have a website.
They have a website.
Because people on Facebook gave them that power. It's the power of the people who say that they are powerful. If somebody believes it, then you are. You don't have to take their word.
Well, I think Snoop started out as legitimately trying to investigate if things that were being posted, like on Facebook and other social media,
urban legend.
They said, is that true or is it not true? Well, let's go see what we can find out. But I mean, it's like a lady and her husband with their cats sitting in their house, and their primary source of finding out whether something is true or not is going to other websites on the internet and seeing what they said.
So you should just change Snopes to Google.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you just Google it yourself and be your own Snopes if you think you're so smart?
Snope it yourself.
Google it yourself. I mean,
Snope it. Very nice.
Don't be too lazy or stupid to not look these things up for yourself, okay? I mean, if you really want to know. But I mean,
people are. Oh goodness, people are lazy.
I don't know. For me, it's like sports. It's like, well, the way other people like sports, I like news, and I like to get to the bottom of things and see, what the real deal is. And cute kittens.
You like really trying to give his pussy away today. How many kittens do you have to give away?
7.
That was one new heavy house.
7. They're from 2 litters though, so, but only one mom always is taking responsibility.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Are we signing off, guys?
All right. I I think it's been a great show. Someone's trying to call me.
Hang up on
Everyone.
You're on air.
Thanks again for allowing me to sit in.
Oh, we
on
love having you. I think the more that regular viewers, make sure you comment, friends. I think going to be very happy that Nikki has joined us. Where can they find you, Nikki?
Stuff so I can share it. I'll get links so I can share it on my stuff so I can pull some more people in that like to. I have a lot of people that are interested in the political side of stuff, but you know, tired of the Facebook drama.
Yes.
Oh, cool. We want him on the show. So, Nikki, we're going to get him on here. Yeah, like Sam said, give us your closing, where people can find you, how they can listen to your show and all that, and then we'll call it a show.
All right. You can go to rockrageradio.com. You can go to Facebook. Look us up on Facebook, Rock Rage Radio or Nikki Darling. Instagram, The Real Nikki Darling. I'm on Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have an app you can get. It's just Rock Rage Radio, either in the, I don't know, what is it, App Store? Whatever your app store is called. iPhone or Android. And we just got a new studio, so we'll be moving in tomorrow here in the Akron area.
Sounds awesome.
I'm excited.
Sammy?
I got.
Pour juice on your chin.
His beard